guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a guide to selling on Etsy. So I have created this long checklist which you can download for free on how to sell on Etsy, and tips and tricks for beginners and even newbies. And it's a checklist, and I will leave a link in the description so you can download this checklist at the end of the video and tick off all those things that I'm going to go through with you today, guys. Hopefully this will be very helpful. I also want to say a huge thank you to our sponsors today, Skillshare. They have some fantastic videos and courses for you guys to take on selling on Etsy. They don't just do Etsy ones, they also do how to improve things like hand lettering, crafting, art, developing your style, all sorts of amazing things, and I think you guys would really love to check them out. If you like videos like this, educational videos, Skillshare is absolutely amazing, and they're offering the first 500 people of our community free 2 months free on Skillshare. So definitely go snap it up. I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can go check them out. They honestly have so many different classes for you to take, and you know me, guys, you know I'm a huge fan on growing and developing new skills and techniques to bring into your business, because it is invaluable. And if you want to learn more in depth on how to sell on Etsy, like Etsy SEO, which we'll be going into, definitely go and check out Skillshare. So thank you so much, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video. So let's get into the top 10 tips, shall we? So the first one you want to do is a business name. That is the first thing you're going to do, is obviously hopefully have a business name that is short, sweet and easy to pronounce. I did a video on how to pick a business name, which you can go check out. But first of all, you need a business name. Think about what brand and things you have in mind for your products, but that's definitely tip number one. You need to think of a really catchy, fun business name that embodies your brand. Number two is your products, and you'll want to work out if your products are going to be profitable for business. So it gets a bit yicky and yucky, especially for artists talking about money and stuff, but at the end of the day it's very important that you work out profit margins and you work out how much it takes to create a handmade item and how much you can then sell it for. Look at competitors in your field and see how much those similar products go for. You can choose to go slightly higher if you're going to go more high range, or lower, but ultimately you need to make sure that there is enough profit on the products to help you create a living. Work out how much you need to make to sustain your life in the future, if it's just for a hobby or if you are going to go into this full time. Also work out, are these going to be seasonal items, and think of the time of the year that you're going to be selling them. If you just want to sell hats and scarves, primarily you are going to be selling in the winter months, so you need to focus on when you're going to open your Etsy store. Think about timing of that, and think about your marketing during those months and how you're going to spread out the money and your profits over those few months for your quieter months in the summer, for example. So work out your products, your profit margins. You definitely don't want to be making a loss. You need to take into consideration your materials, the cost to make them, and then work out that way. There is some fantastic tools and resources online on how to make a good profit on them and how to work out a profit for wholesale and a profit for retail. So know your products, make sure you're making a profit, and then yeah. Tip number three is photography. You want nice, clear photography for your photos. There is no point having a photo that is dimly lit and it doesn't show off the best part of your products. You want to make sure you have a nice bright photo. You don't have to have any fancy camera equipment like I've got. Just having a space near a window. I have a very old video on when I first started out, and I used to just literally use my window and a white mount board that kind of reflected the sunlight back onto my product. You don't have to invest in fancy equipment or cameras. When I first started, I started out with my trusty old iPhone, because the camera on phones are fantastic these days, and that did the trick and got me to where I am, and I use then my profits to fund a more fancy camera. So make sure you have lovely clean product photography. Number 4 is Etsy SEO. You might have heard this if you're researching about Etsy, but this is basically your titles, tags and descriptions, and helps you get found in Etsy organically and naturally. And there is some fantastic classes on Skillshare for this. this that go into depth, but if not, you can also research this yourself. When I first was starting out, I used eRank, which can be a paid platform but also offers some free tools, and Marmalade. Now I actually paid for Marmalade, and basically you input your store data onto there and it helps give you the best advice for titles and tags, and then you can drop down to maybe the free version once you're used to it. They also give you a ranking on your listings. So I uploaded my listings and sometimes I would get a C or a D because it would tell you why. Like I had missing titles, I had missing tags, spelling errors in the description, I didn't have all my photos listed. And Marmalade was a fantastic tool when I was starting out, and personally who I used. This is not sponsored by them or anything, it's just genuinely who I used, and I found it really, really helpful. I then went back down to the free version once I got to grips with the titles and tags, but there's also many free resources out there where you can search about Etsy SEO, and it's all about getting those titles, tags and descriptions. Definitely do your research on that. If you're not marketing on other platforms, having that boost from organic Etsy search is really, really helpful and can help kind of get the ground running for you. Definitely do your research on Etsy SEO. So number 5 is trends, product trends. So again, like I was talking about Etsy searches and stuff, there's also trends that happen in kind of the fashion and crafting industry. For example, unicorns, cactuses, foxes, things like that. Look at what's trending that year and see if you can incorporate the trends into your products. When I was starting out, trends really helped me because it helped me get onto the search page and helped me get found more organically. Now I kind of do my own things that I love, which helps me, but that is because I now have a following. But before, when I was starting out and I was relying on that organic Etsy searching, doing trended products can really help. So say if you sell zipper pouches, maybe if the products that were trending in the last few months were lemons, maybe try and create a zipper pouch with lemons on, and just do your research on what is trending and try and apply them to your products. And you don't need to apply these to all your products because you still want your brand to stand out, but it is really helpful. You'll find that most stationery businesses do this, like Ordeer and Paperchase. Unicorns and cactuses were such a huge thing. If you go into the shops, you will see a lot of unicorns and cactuses. At the moment, a lot of tropical themes are popping up because of summer. So you'll get like toucans and you'll get birds and you'll get palm trees, etc, etc. So definitely look out for trends. It can be very helpful for getting you seen on Etsy, and also helps with your social media marketing because it's a trendy item that people want. Number 6 is description. You obviously want to work on selling and creating your unique brand voice. And writing a compelling description. Don't forget that you don't have to be super professional and stuffy if that is not you and your brand. Me personally, when I first started out, I used to write like really professional, but I learned that that wasn't my brand voice. That's not what I wanted my brand to be. So then I started to be more relaxing in my descriptions. But you also want to bear in mind that you want to sell your product as well. It's important. You want to say what's great about your product. Why do people need that in their life? And create a very clear description on what is in the contents, what can your consumers expect, and yeah, make sure your description is nice and clear, and just sell your product a little bit to them. It helps. The next one is list more items. So listing items is important, and I specifically noticed a difference when I listed 50 items, and then again when I got up to 100 items. It really started to get the ball rolling. I know at first this can be really tricky. I only had about 15 items when I first opened my Etsy store, and it was primarily portraits, but I did portraits in different styles, like wedding portraits, child portraits, dog portraits, and I sold them as different listings. You have to be careful because you can't duplicate listings and have loads of listings because it goes against Etsy violations. But over time, try and build an inventory of products, because the more products you list, the more likely you are to get seen in Etsy. And obviously I've noticed the more items you have, tend to get a lot more organic sales through Etsy. So try and make your goal 20 items, then 50 items, and then try and get to that 100, because you will see a difference in organic Etsy traffic. So yeah, list more items. The next one is packaging and shipping. So with me, I like to do, as I'm a handmade seller, I like to add little touches to my packaging. I personally use tissue paper, add a little bit of confetti, and throw in a thank you note as well. Make your packaging suitable for you and your brand, and give it that little extra touch, because it's kind of like a little mini Christmas when you purchase off an Etsy seller, because it's not a big commercial seller, and it makes you stand out from the crowd. Maybe you have certain set of colours that you like to use for your brand, or you have a little gift that you want to put in, like a little lolly, or you want to give them a little sticker freebie or anything. It just helps your customers appreciate the product and smile when they open it, and it makes them more likely to remember you and come back and leave a fantastic review, which helps you over time. So definitely packaging and shipping is super important. Make sure as well your shipping is secure and that your items aren't going to get damaged over time. Maybe try and send one to yourself. Send it out in the post and see how it arrives. Make sure everything is fine with your packaging. Don't forget, it comes with time as well, so you can change your packaging over time. But it just helps give you that little edge as an Etsy seller, and I personally love purchasing off Etsy for that very reason. It's like a little bundle of joy when it arrives on the doorstep. Am I right? The next one is follow-up. Now, at the beginning of my Etsy store, I used to follow up on a lot of my orders. I used to say, hello, did you receive your package? How did you find it? Is it okay? Have you got any criticism? And most of the time people came back like, oh my gosh, it was lovely, and that interaction was really, really nice, and then they left me a 5-star review because I followed up and they remembered me, and it re-jogged the memory. Because remember, a lot of online purchases can be impulse and they can kind of forget, so that follow-up helps them remember you and helps them leave a review. You can even ask them, if you wouldn't mind, if you were really happy, please feel free to leave a review. Don't give them any pressure, and just be really, really nice to them and reach out and make sure everything was okay, especially if you're starting out as well. I now personally can't do this for every single one of my orders, although I wish I could. It was also very handy for me at first, because I used to ask customers would they like to see any improvements on my products, so asking genuine critiques, and it can really help grow your products and the quality of your products up as well. So you can also ask them, is there anything you would like, I'm a new seller, is there anything you would like to see in the future? And people are always happy to help and will give you constructive criticism and feedback, and that can be valuable in running an Etsy business, because at the end of the day your customers are super, super important, and to get their feedback can be absolutely invaluable. Maybe you might oversee something in your product or something that you've looked at so long you've totally missed it, so getting that valuable feedback can be super, super important, and the best way to do that is to follow up. The next one is business cards, leaflets, or thank you notes. This gives your business an edge, and it also means that you can turn your customer into a repeat customer. So leaving things like a business card or a thank you note with your social media links. Definitely think about getting a little business card made up. There is many cheap places out there like Vistaprint, instantprint.co.uk that you can use to get them quite cheaply. I use leaflets, so I have a leaflet set that I send in. It says a little thank you and how much it means to have their support, and that they can come and find me on Instagram and keep in the loop with what I'm doing over on my social media platforms and my YouTube. And if you make it really, really cute, some people keep them. I know I keep other people's business cards, and I keep, especially like you can get postcard ones. Some artists do postcards where they put like artwork on the front, and it's too precious to throw out, so I end up keeping them and putting them on my art print wall. It's a really great way to be memorable, and it also means that if they can't remember specifically what the name of your store is, it's on that business card or leaflet, and it's fantastic because they're like, oh yeah, here she is, and I'll go check her out, thank you so much, etc, etc. So that's super important. Bonus tip is to have fun and make sure you create something that you love. Business is business, and you need to make a profit to keep your business afloat and to sustain your lifestyle, but at the end of the day, business is made so much easier if you absolutely love what you do. I absolutely love what I do so much, and I'm very passionate about it, and it keeps me motivated every day. It keeps you on top every day. If you didn't love what you do, it is just another job. You're creating another job for yourself, so make sure you absolutely love your craft. And if you prefer it just as a hobby and selling on the side, that's fine too. Do you? Do you know what I mean? Do what you freaking want. Another thing I will mention is as well, that is to get started on Etsy. Another thing is not to rely too much just on Etsy traffic. I did build an audience outside of Etsy, so traditional marketing routes such as Instagram, Facebook marketing, etc. is a fantastic route to go down. Don't just rely on organic Etsy traffic and marketing, because it can change. Etsy can change their algorithm, and you could be on the first page one week and the next week you're not, and it could damage your sales. But if you build up a community online on your social media and you connect with other people, you will always have those people to reach out for you, and they will help support your Etsy business. So definitely look into marketing tactics on social media and things like that. If you're unsure on where to start with marketing, again, our sponsor Skillshare has some absolutely fantastic videos on marketing, Etsy SEO, all of that good stuff. They've honestly got thousands of classes, and if you want to print out this free PDF guide, I will also leave a link in the description so you can check this off if you're a newbie to Etsy to get all these done. But yeah, I hope you found this video helpful and you enjoyed it. Remember to check out other people on YouTube and see their tips. I definitely went to YouTube when I was first starting out Etsy, and I used to watch different videos and see what other people said and what they did, and tips and advice and stuff. Marmalade is again a fantastic resource for that. Don't forget, social media marketing is very important. Don't just rely on growing organically through Etsy. Also build a community outside of Etsy so that you always have that community there for you, and you're building up a network of people and potential customers. If you want to share your Etsy shop, or you're just starting out, down below so everyone can go check you out, feel free to leave it below. Connect with each other. If you have any questions, leave a comment below, and if you guys know the answer, try and respond to people and try and help people out, because there's enough love for all of us to go around. There's 9 billion trillion bagillion people on this planet, and there's enough room for all of us in here. So come here, lots of marshmallow squishy hugs. I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you very freaking soon. Alright, thanks for watching then. I love you. Goodbye.